Hi, I'm Robert Harper, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you from the 2020 NAMM show. It's 2020. We are at the Cordial Cables booth. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. And we are with Cordial artist Robert Harper. How you doing, Robert?
I'm all right, John. Good to see you, man. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you too. Thank you for joining us. We've communicated for, I don't know, it's got to be several months now via email. This is the first time we've ever met. I've never been able to touch you and be next to you and talk to you and see your face. So I want to share some information about your career and bass playing and Area 301 and all that stuff. But let's briefly go back to the beginning. And I want to hear about your initial exposure to music. What kind of musical upbringing did you have as far as, you know, parents, brothers and sisters, records playing, things like that? How were you first exposed to music, and how did you become a bass player?
I was first exposed to music just through the stereos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody back in them days said when I was 3 to 5 years old, they loved to babysit me because all they have to do is sit me by the stereo and give me a bottle. I was no problem. So I was sucking all that in.
Well, do you know? I was going to say, do you remember? Do you remember, or do you know what they were putting on?
Oh, yes. A song I did today by Burt Bacharach, What the World Needs Now. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Yeah.
We just lost half the audience.
And you know, he's 91 and he's still touring. So Dionne Warwick, of course. And then it just went into, then the funk caught on when I was around 6 or 7. I started hearing Joe Tex, James
Skinny
Brown.
Legs.
Yeah, so you know that.
And I got you. When I pick up the dog or my granddaughter, I
I was a
got
little
you.
kid. It was grabbing me, you know what I mean? I didn't know what it was at those times. I was too little, but I remember those songs today. And it just went on. And then when it got to finally speed the story up, I was in the 6th grade. And then that summer, before you go to junior high, well, at least that's how it is in Los Angeles. They do it different places. But I was with my uncle, and I was staying at his house for the summer, and he was at work. And I looked out the window, and I seen all these people around this apartment building. And I'm a little young guy. I'm like, what are they doing? So I go over there, and I hear the echoes and the reminiscences of the guitar, you know. I didn't know what was going on. And I peered through some legs because I'm a little kid, you know. And I saw these guys first time in life with these guitars, and I was just stuck on that.
Just local guys, you mean?
Yes, in their apartments, jamming with those wah-wahs and stuff. I didn't know the difference between bass or guitar at that time. I just liked the guitar and, you know, holding that guitar. Seeing it in the Jacksons and stuff, you know, and the little TV shows and cartoons they had back in the days.
I remember.
Yeah. So anyway, I asked my mom for one.
For a guitar?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know about a bass. She just said a guitar. She kept procrastinating. So I had my other mother, my grandmother. She's the one. I'm her first grandchild, so, you know, it worked like that in my favor. She loved me. And she took me down to Hollywood. We looked at a few things.
And before Guitar Center was there, huh?
Oh, yeah. This was some big guitar. All I know was on Sunset and not La Brea. Sunset and some other street. It was a big store on it. Big, huge store. I forgot the name of it. It's not there no more. I know Motown Records and stuff is across the street from it. That corner, that Vine. Yeah. Sunset Vine used to be a big music store over there. It's not there no more. But anyway.
Stein on Vine was there, too.
Maybe that was it. Was it big?
No, that was for,
Stein was further down, though, I think.
For violins, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was down a little further.
Maybe I might be wrong.
Right on the corner. But anyway, I went down there, and the guy was real nice. He said, this is a guitar. And he gave me this little Tito-looking guitar, and I was, you know, messing around with it. Then he said, now we have, this is a bass guitar. And when he put that on, this is a story. Some people heard me say this before. As I was smart enough to know that 4 strings look easier than 6.
Little did you know.
Yeah. And little did I know they would do all this new stuff they're doing nowadays. But back then, I was on it. And so that's how I got into the bass. Not by the sound that I've been hearing on the records. And be known, once I start plugging up with these little amps and stuff, that's what I wanted to do.
So who were your bass influences? Did you have any bass heroes? Anybody that got your attention?
My early heroes back then were Jermaine Jackson. A lot of people, he kind of slides through the radar, Real great bass player. Larry Graham, Louis Johnson, all the funkers and thumpers back in those days. And Bootsy Collins, Cordial Cables from he's passed along.
I got your number, man.
Yeah, so those are my type of guys. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing the Stanley Clarke and all that stuff till later on. I just took off straight with the funk. And then, of course, I love the groups like Toto, Led Zeppelin. Back then, you turn on the radio, and it wasn't so segregated. I mean, everybody was on one station, like the ones I listened to. So I got to hear a lot of other stuff. The Eagles, Chicago, good old golden years, I call them.
Well, what about your career? How did that get rolling? What kind of stuff were you doing initially?
So, I did talent shows. I come from a rich musical community. I was raised up in Carson, California. I'm a native of California, born and raised. And I was fortunate enough to move out there. And there were all kind of bands just everywhere. You can just walk anywhere and just go to somebody's house and hear somebody playing. The most prominent people that came out of there are Chucky Booker. He's playing with Lionel Richie right now. But we used to remember him playing in the garage, and I didn't know he was Barry White's godson or something like that, grandson. But yeah, it was him, another dude named Terrence Thomas that went on to play with Barry White, and a bunch of other bands. So many to name. I forgot my friend. I got to give him a shout out. Benny Williams, but he's called himself now Hendrix Williams. These guys with these Hendrix names. But the dude, he got hired to play with Tina Marie. Remember her with the Rick James fame thing? And he wrote a couple songs with her. But we were all friends in the garage back in the days, and then you see these guys, and it keeps motivating you. Now, to move this on, when I was like 18, I was still in high school. I was playing in a rock band, and during break, I met a female group called Climax. They had a few gold records, Meeting in the Ladies' Room, and a few other hits back in the days, produced on Solar Records. And I got to hang with them and see what was going on.
Climax, this sounds very different from what you're describing, but who did a song called Precious and Few?
Precious and Few? Precious and Few. I don't know that.
I thought there was a band called Climax. I might be wrong. But then there was Climax Blues Band. I know that's not who you're talking about.
We're talking about an R&B funk band. Yeah. They was back in the 80s when Prince was popping real big, and The Time and all them. Yeah. They used to all tour together and stuff.
So you got some gigs and you got your career started to get rolling?
I was always in the mix, And then what kind of slowed me up was I kind of got with the family thing a little too early, I think so. But they hear it now, you know what I mean? I fell in love and went to the military and had 6 kids and all this, And so, I had to put the music on a little back burner for a minute, I didn't
That'll
stop.
do it.
Yeah, I didn't stop, but I just took a spot gig here and there, you know what I mean? So as the years went by, I always had friends, and I would go hang out the studios with them and everything, and they kept asking me, when you going to do this? When you going to do that? You need to do this. And after about 2 or 3 years of that, you kind of gets to you, and you're like, okay, everybody's telling me this stuff. So when more than one person says something, you pay attention to that. So I went back and started woodshedding and stuff, and went to the Musicians Institute. And
when were you there?
I was in there. I went twice, actually. Really, I went back in 81 to 83.
So Jeff Berlin and Tim Bogert were there.
Yeah, you know about that. Tim Bogert, he's so cool. He was the one who taught me how to use special effect pedals.
Carl Schroeder was probably there at the time.
Yeah, all the heavyweights. Tommy Tedesco.
Tommy, right? Yeah. Of course.
And it was such a. That's when they called it BIT.
Right.
It was much more close-knit family back then, you know what I mean? If somebody was short on their rent or something, you just go up to the Pat Roberts or one of them and stuff and tell them you need $200 or $300, and it was real good. But I learned a lot. Jeff Berlin, and that's where I met Louis Johnson. Louis Johnson was on the visiting faculty.
Yeah. How much can we fast forward without missing too much? I want to hear about what you're doing today.
Okay. where people know me from, like I said, Lewis Johnson and Robert Wilson of the Gap Band. God bless both of their hearts. They're now deceased. So since then, a lot of the doors been opening for me. So I'm trying to get this right. Okay, we want to talk too much, so I'm going to start when I moved out to Maryland. Cool? I moved out to Maryland in 2015 to see some specialists. Won't get too much in all that. Some doctors my wife wanted me to see for this shoulder injury when I used to lift weights. Now, believe it or not, I used to bodybuild back in the days. But anyway, so when I got out there, I just fell in love with the music scene, And then I talked.
What part of Maryland?
Me, Upper Marlboro, Bowie, Maryland. I'm in Bowie now. They're both right next to each other, so I claim both of them. And my band rehearses there. Area 301, hip-hop fusion band with all live instrumentation.
You ever bump into Gary Granger? I think he's out there.
Yeah, I met them before I talked to him before I even came out there. And then I saw them at a bass clinic for PRS.
Yeah.
As soon as I moved out there, him, Kevin Walker, and David Dyson.
Oh.
Yeah, and the guy just welcomed me in, man. And they still, anytime I call them, I got a question about something, even tax men. You know what I mean? They're there to hook me up. And
David Dyson's a great player.
Yeah,
great player.
So humble, man. He's all over the place. I think he's the most busiest player out there in the DMV right there. That's what they call it. Was it Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C.? Yeah. Did I get that right? Yeah, all three of them.
Tell me about your gear.
Gear. I have one of the most exotic-looking basses from France called the Paul Lerat. From France. He's a luthier, used to make violins and stuff, and he did guitars first, and then when he put the spin on the basses, man, so it was something else. I like them because they cut away some wood that I don't really need, but he has a good balance. There's no neck heaviness in them. And the thing,
I'm sure your shoulder appreciates that.
Oh yes, definitely. And I'm from the P-Funk days. That's a huge part of my plate, and still is today. So I needed something funky. Bootsy already got the star bass, so I had to come up with something of mine own. You know what I mean? With my name on it, and so I got it's called the Stega bass. It's on steroids.
The what bass?
It's called the Stega bass. Stega? Excuse me. S-T-E-G-A, Stega?
Like Stegosaurus?
Yes. And but I got the one on steroids. It's only it's a limited edition. They're only making 20 or 25 of them. And but I got mine, really funked up. I put LEDs on the neck so I can see at night and stuff in case the lights get shut off like they did before on me.
What kind of strings did you play on there?
Oh, man, some of the best strings that a lot of people are starting to gravitate to now. They're called Galli Strings. Also, let me see, wait a minute, get that right. Galli Strings is from Italy.
Right.
They've been around since 1893.
It's Galli, right?
Yes. Okay. And now they're coming on the United States like aliens. You know what I mean? They have landed. That mothership has landed, man. And
so four string on the Lerat?
No, I don't play four strings no more. I just feel strange with them now. I tried. I play 5 and 6, and I like acoustic. And I play. Wait a minute. I play a 4-string upright, but not guitar no more. Just.
Are you left-handed?
No.
Well, you raised this hand when you
because I still have shoulder problems.
What about amps and effects or
my
cables?
Amps come
maybe
from Italy too. My amps are. I got to go see them. I play there tomorrow. Matter of fact, at 12 noon. My amps are from GR Bass from Italy. Okay. Yes, Italy's coming out with some good stuff, and they don't cut no corners. Everything's made there, and very expensive stuff. The covering is even made out of leather. I didn't know that, but that's how it came.
What about effects, if any?
I use Boss right now. I got to go over there and talk to them because I have an endorsement with Morley, but I have enough wahs now. Thank you, Morley. I need some other stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm using right now one of their ME. Forgot the name of it. They're what they call multi-effect pedals, and it has my compressor on there, my envelope filter, my distortion. All that stuff. Yeah. So I got to stop by and talk to them about
So what about cables? Do cables really make a difference?
Yep, some people don't think so, but it doesn't. It's like, if you have a real nice bass and you buy a cheesy chord, it's like putting on $5 hat on a nickel head. You know what I mean? You don't make no sense to buy a real expensive nice bass and nice pickups and then run to the guitar center and get you a cheesy $5 or $9 chord.
So tell me about Cordial Cables. What do you like about them?
They blew me away because a lot of people talk, and I won't mention no names, but you guys know these three top competitors out there. We're blowing them out the water because Cordial Cables. What I noticed when I was doing my research is they're the only ones right now that can claim that they don't use recycled copper. Now the difference with that is with, like, when I hear my transients, the speed, with the traveling speed through the cable, it's really a difference. And they use 3 times as much cable as the 3 top guys you guys know about.
Cordial's made in Germany?
Yes. This guy is just our U.S. distributor, Cordial Cable USA. They have 2 of them now. Mike Smith, he's the guy you want to talk to out here in the USA. Yeah. But they don't play around, man. And when I plug that baby up, it's fire.
Briefly, what about the future? What else is in store? Anything coming up that's in the works or about to be in the works?
Yes, the future is looking real good. Besides my health getting to the point where I can actually tour now, we have a management with this Area 301 band I'm with. And, we have that album that came out in 2016 that's won all these awards out in Maryland.
What's it called?
Area 301. The album is called Area 301. Ooh, you had me nervous for a minute because I don't have it in my hand. But it's just Area 301. And it's their debut album. We're working on the second one that'll be released this year, 2020. And some more videos for the older album and the newer stuff. But we're going to start hitting the road again March the 14th in Virginia at the Carlisle Club. And it's going to be like about 7 bands there. But they're going to put us on last, and we're going to show everybody what we're all about. We have a live show that can't stop. And I want to tell everybody out in the internet world, I'll be posting a lot more videos. I apologize for last year. I did a few, and then we had so many changes with the band and everything. We had to get everything right. So I'm the media man with that. So I am telling you from the horse's mouth, it'll be a lot more videos for you guys to check out.
We will watch for that, and they will too. Let me ask you one more question, Robert. What would you be if you weren't a bass player?
Where would I be if I wasn't a bass player? Wow.
Something outside of music.
Outside of music. I don't know, really, because I've been doing music so long. Maybe I would have stayed in the military. Just did 20 years and fell back on that. I don't know. I didn't like it that much. But I don't know. That's a good question. I've been working since I was 12, though, throwing newspapers and doing all kind of stuff. At 14 years old, I had my first real job, selling TVs out of a real legit TV place with W-2 forms, you know what I mean? So I would have been working somewhere. I couldn't tell you. Probably it's somewhere in a studio or, music stores. I don't think they pay enough for me, but somewhere with a music involved musically. Music, right. Record store. No, not a record store. They don't have those either, huh? Yeah. What do you call it? The record companies.
There you go. All right. Be sure to let us know when the new record comes out. You have a title for it yet?
Yes, no title for it yet, but it's going to be banging, man.
All right.
And you guys still look out for us and get the other one, because we won an American Music, the Maryland Music Award. What's that other one we won? The Titan Award. And there's not a lot of independent groups that are doing that, winning awards for independent music. So we were ready to take it nationwide, worldwide, 2020. That's why we kind of laid back and been in rigorous rehearsals.
There you go. Congratulations on all your success. I know it's well-deserved. Keep doing what you're doing, and much luck and continued success to you, Robert. Thanks for spending a few minutes on location at the Cordial booth at the 2020 NAMM show, Anaheim, California, with our friend Robert Harper. I'm John Liebman. You're watching the #1 site for exclusive one-on-one bass player interviews and more people's favorite place for learning bass online, for basspleyersonly.com. Once again, I'm John Liebman. Let's play bass.